How are you, folks? Welcome to Offer United. I'm your host, Joe O'Neill, and today we will be covering the depression of the Manchester United transfer special. I am lucky enough to be joined here by two wonderful guests, Arpan and Sems. Big love to the guys. How are you doing on this wonderful Monday morning?
What's happening, people? I'm good. I was telling you, the sun is shining where I am, so
I know.
yeah,
I was saying to Sems, it looks like he is in heaven. And it is just plain white behind him. And he's in a Man United jersey, which means you are not in heaven right now because it is
not
misery. Okay,
not at all, man.
and Arpan, it is what, 2:30 over where you are?
So yeah, 2:30. I'm in India. So yeah, where
Wow.
I am, it's pretty cloudy, and it doesn't really look like I'm in heaven because right now being a Man United fan does not really go well with being in heaven.
Yeah.
But yeah, rest is just like Manchester United transfer window. It's all windy, it's all cloudy, it's raining a lot.
Yeah, it's the same for me. We can probably just talk about the weather for this whole thing rather than talk about Man United transfer. It's quite gloomy here too. It's like, because I'm going to the gym right after this, so I kind of had my United jersey and shorts on, but it was even too cold to sit here and do that, so I had to cover it up. But I think okay, and guys, sound off in the comments everything we're talking about here. It's mainly, first things first, this is probably just going to be the Fabrizio Romano show because I'm just going to be reading out his tweets for the whole thing. We're going to start with Andreas Pereira, though. It looks like we've lost one of our dead wood. He is looking like he is going to Lazio with fees initially on a loan, but what is that noise? Is that?
Yeah. So I live right beside the roads, so there are a lot of cars going.
Okay.
So yeah. I would ask you to have your headphones off so that.
Yeah, good shout and good listening, Mark. Thanks for tuning in again. But with Pereira, it looks like it'll be a loan to begin with, and then with a fee afterwards. I'm seeing between 15 and 27 million. I would do anything for them to take him for 27 million. I do not understand how he's even worth 15, but 27. What are our thoughts on this, Sam? We'll go with you first.
Yeah, it's good news, isn't it? You said we've lost one of our deadwood, but I would use a different word for that. I would say, can you hear me all right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't say we're losing him. I'll just pack him away, get rid of him because, actually, I was one of his early supporters. I wasn't happy when Jose used to play him. I was like, this guy's quality, give him a chance, but. He's had his chance. He's proved that he's not good enough, and we do need to start offloading some of these deadwood now. So I'm glad to see that he's potentially going. I don't like the loan with the option to buy. I would prefer them to have just bought him because if he then goes there and doesn't perform, then we're stuck with him again, and we're probably going to get even less from what we're trying to get now. So, but look, regardless, we do need to start getting some players out the door, and this is another thing that's been worrying me. Not only have we not brought people in, we've not got people out. So this is good news that we're looking to get them out.
My fear on this deal, why it's the way it is, why it's a loan with an option to buy afterwards and not a force to buy, is because we are so bad in the transfer market that when it comes to getting rid of our players, everyone knows we want these players gone. Everyone knows. So Lazio can come in because they missed out on David Silva and they're looking for sort of that creative midfielder, and now they're stuck with Pereira somehow. They know that we are and that we've no bargaining chips. There probably could be 15 million. Definitely have to buy them after the summer, or maybe they might agree 27 million with an option to buy in a year's time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really hope he's go. Arpan, what are your thoughts?
Well, for starters, I'm gonna do something that Man United are not doing. I'm gonna close my window. Just give me a moment.
He waited until he had to speak to do that, so he could say that.
Yeah. I was just waiting for you to unmute me.
He teed that up nicely.
Yeah. Mark has it's 10 million regardless with an option to buy, and then 10% sell on option of 27 million. Okay, that's kind of what I've been getting. I know someone was saying 15 million as well, but it is 10 million no matter what. I guess that's something anyway. But
has Fabrizio given this the thumbs up?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. So I've closed the window. I
Thank
hope
you.
the noises are staying outside. Now about Andreas Pereira, I listen. If he's going to Lazio, I don't really mind. I'd be really happy because I'm at that point of time where even if somebody like asks me for money to buy Andreas Pereira, I'd probably give that to them.
Yeah.
And like, listen, take 10 million and Andreas Pereira, just take him off the wage bill, the bills. So anyway, like if he goes to Lazio with the rumor is that he is going with the loan option and with an option to buy, with a loan and with an option to buy. So I don't think that's gonna be that difficult because Lazio, that it's defensive. He's pretty defensive minded when it comes to footballing, and he does not create a lot of options. He does not create a lot of chances. So I think he'll fit right in that Lazio side. And apart from that, I think, but yeah, I don't know. Like maybe later this season, Woodward would give him another contract and bring him in. That is the only thing I'm afraid of.
Yeah. With Pereira, like I remember, like the same with you, Sam, when he came in, because he did so well at Valencia. I was very excited to see him come in.
Yeah.
I was looking at his stats last season. He played 40 games last season. Now, he didn't say how many of them were starts, but I can't imagine. I imagine a lot of them are coming off the bench. But the return of 4 assists and 2 goals. Like, the only assist I can remember is against Chelsea. I can't remember anything else. I can't remember any other.
Yeah, of course. The Martial one, wasn't it? Against Chelsea.
And that was a great ball because I had been defending him that entire match with my mates. We were all out watching it in the local. And I was like, no, Pereira's a good player. And they were like, no, Joe, he's shite. And then he does that. And I was like, see? And then I was kind of proven wrong for the rest of his, season at least. But how can we sum up his? If this is the last time we saw him was whenever last season when we saw him, how can we sum up his time at United? What if you can do it in one word and then expand on it?
Disappointing is the word that I would use, and the reason because I do think he does have a talent. I do think he's technically good. He does work hard. So I would have expected him to have done better than what he has actually done. I've actually seen him play live, and he looked really good. It was I think we won 3-2 against Southampton. I was at that game when he scored that wicked goal from outside the box. So he's had moments in games, but his overall play has been poor. So yeah, disappointing would be the word that I would use.
For yourself, Arpan?
If you ask me, it's again disappointing because see, with the number of chances he has got, I think if you're playing for Man United, you've got to deliver more. You've got to give something other than like four assists and 2 goals. That is a horrible outcome for any midfielder.
Terrible.
Like anybody, like, okay, 1 or 2 glimpses. If I'm given that many chances, I might even score a goal. Like you never know. Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Like with the number of chances. See, I've never defended Pereira. When he was at Valencia, there were glimpses of what he can do. He's good on the ball. He's technically pretty sound. But when it comes to outcome, I think he absolutely lacks that effort to take a risk. He absolutely lacks that mentality where he would actually go on to take a risk, play that crucial ball. If you look at Bruno, he is not afraid. He loses a lot of the ball. He loses his passes get cut out, and yet he's not really disappointed with that. He tries to do more and more of that.
Yeah.
Until one ball that gets past the defense, and that is what we need. We need to play that aggressive game. If you're a midfielder at Man United, and if you're thinking that okay, I do not want to get caught on the ball, I do not want to have a mispass, and for that I will go on passing the ball sideways for the entire time. That is basically the physical embodiment of Van Gaal, just a player version of Van Gaal. So that is all I think. I would sum it up as a disappointment.
Arvan, Louis Van Gaal is a swear word in my house, so never say that again. Sorry, go ahead, Sam. You're going to say something.
Yeah, somebody said in the comments there that decision making was what let him down, and I think that is exactly it, because Andreas Pereira was a very selfish player. He always seemed to try to do everything by himself, try to take on too much. I don't know if he was trying to prove a point or what, but his decision making in the final third was awful.
Horrible.
And I think that's what has let him down a lot of the time as well. I agree with that comment there about decision making.
Absolutely. His
Matthew Barrett
decision making is worse than my mom and dad's.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's our covered. We're all going to deeply miss Andreas Pereira. And to seamlessly move on to the next topic. Gary Rushers has made this comment on Facebook. Joe, if Sancho happens, I will buy you a new shirt with his name on the back.
Okay. What about us?
Yeah, okay. That is happening now. That deal is definitely happening. Okay. For that alone. But we're going to move back to Fabrizio now. We're going to be covering the Telles and Sancho deals. Please, guys, in the comments, give your thoughts on these, please. Fabrizio has said, Alex Telles and Man United found an agreement on personal terms tonight. Also on last details and agent's commission. United are in talks with Porto about the fee. Man United also have a plan B. Sancho still received any new bid. So a bit more movement on the Telles deal. That, you know, more stuff is being agreed, I guess, let alone, but not a fee or anything. United are always trying to talk it down and putting the fear of God into the plan B. I think it's your man from Ajax. But what are our thoughts on this? Sent, we'll go to you first. Will this get over the line?
One thing I want to know, Joe, is I don't know if I didn't think this was normal, but why are we agreeing personal terms all of the time, but not agreeing the fee with the club first?
It's so bizarre. It's because the way modern football is now, I think you can come in and say to the club, we are interested in signing your player, because I think usually the personal details are kind of done a lot quicker now. It's the fee, because back in the day it would be maybe 20 million, but all the 20 million would be paid at once or in two things, and it would just be for the player. But now it's agents, it's like branding, it's everything. It's everything.
Yeah.
So that's why it's more complicated. So if they know that you're interested and kind of potentially pay the money, they let you talk to the player, which is completely backwards from what it was. But it is like, I don't know. What are we at? You know, just buy the players.
Yeah, we're agreeing personal terms with everybody. Everybody's agreeing personal terms with us, and we're not making any signings. It's quite worrying, man. You know what? I would say that this Telles one will go over the line, because it has to. It actually has to. There's no two ways about it. This one has to go over the line. We've got, again, I don't believe there's anybody else in for him. I think he would be a good addition to our squad. What is he? 27. He's experienced. I think he will be a good deal. I think we need to do this deal. Beginning of the window, I spoke to you about it before. The beginning of the window, it wouldn't have been an area that I would have focused on, if I'm honest. But now we're here, I believe we need to make this deal happen, and I think it will happen.
Yeah, same with me. Only in the last while, when we were about to sign Reguilon, I realized that, like, oh God, we really need a left back. Like, I always knew Luke Shaw wasn't, to put it more politely than Kartik does it, my kind of player. But like with this, like, I've kind of realized we really do need someone, because Brandon Williams, no matter how good he is, he's still right-footed.
He's right-footed, yeah, that's the problem.
He's always going to be cut out. Always going to be cut out. Arpan, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, first of all, we're agreeing personal terms with everybody. I think Man United sent a letter to me agreeing in personal terms of me being a fan.
Yeah.
But then we did not agree on the fee. But since we're agreeing on personal terms, I don't know what it actually means. That it just is like, you're just keeping it alive. Like, okay, 1-0 down, you're just keeping it alive. That's all that is. But yeah, looking at the tweet that Fabrizio has tweeted today, I think Man United are going to get this deal done. And to be very honest, if we do not get anything done other than Van de Beek, it's going to be a huge publicity crisis as well. Because, see, Man United have a lot depending on the players that they sign. I do not know which company sponsors Telles. I don't know whether it's Adidas or Nike, but if it's Adidas, then Adidas will have their own say in the marketing side of it. And I think that can smoothen up the deal. And I do think that this is one of the problems with the Jadon Sancho deal as well. Jadon Sancho plays with Nike, and that is one of the issues. One of the issues. But yes, I was speaking to some other journalists from Manchester Evening News yesterday, one of my friends, and what he said that Alex Telles is going to get done. And Jamie Jackson has also tweeted that it is going to get done. It's not that far away.
Yeah.
Maybe, and I also heard from some other friends that we are gonna have at least one more after Alex Telles, one more player. Now, whether that is Jadon Sancho or not, that is a question. But I'm not really worried about this Telles deal because I kind of know that this is going to happen.
Yeah. To be honest, I agree with you as well. And look, I don't like talking about other clubs, but if you look at like the fact that we're like struggling to get an Alex Telles deal over the line, which we all look, it's going to happen just because the nature of the club, the player isn't that big of a name. It's no matter what, going from Portugal to United is a step up. Like it's definitely going to happen. It's such a small fee as well in comparison. But like you look at City, okay? City yesterday lost 5-2 to Leicester. This morning they signed Ruben Diaz for 65 million, with Otamendi going the other way. So Otamendi still a functional centre half, a good option to come off the bench, but not what you call deadwood, but not not there for the future. He's off the books, and you have a fantastic new like centre half coming in. Like Liverpool last week, not only we all knew they were going to get Thiago, but they shot out of nowhere.
Out of the blue.
Out of nowhere. And even like with Koulibaly, I couldn't believe this, right? Well, now it looks like Koulibaly is staying at Napoli just because even Ruben Diaz is signed for City now. But the three clubs that were in from, hold on, let me find this tweet. It was, sorry, where is his name? PSG, Man City, and Leicester were the three clubs that were in, according to Fabrizio. I was like, well, actually, it was the Napoli chairman that said it, and Fabrizio retweeted it. But like Leicester City were one of the top three contenders for Koulibaly, and we weren't. And we have Champions League football, and we have to say we're a bigger club than Leicester. Like that's a lot of bad stuff going on. A lot of bad stuff.
See, I'll tell you something about this, Joe.
Yeah.
The things that we have already spent 80 million on Harry Maguire last season.
Yeah.
And to invest another 80 million, I think that is how much Koulibaly was. We had to pay Koulibaly, for the club, Napoli, and so to spend another 80 million on another centre half might not be a very good piece of business. I think the club is looking at less expensive options, more efficient options, more kind of like, see, we need to offload the players that we have. If we do not offload the players, I don't think it makes any sense. And if you look at the exact mentality of the club right now, they're not really keen on offloading the players. We have offloaded a lot of them in the last 18 months or so. But still, we should get rid of the rest of the players. We still have Rocco in the books. We still have Phil Jones in the books. Like
I do think that they're keen on offloading. Is that they're struggling to offload? Yes, they're struggling to offload.
This is what happens when you give mediocre players big contracts.
Big contracts, of course.
Do you actually expect them to go?
Yeah, This is the problem.
Such bad planning.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just, and it's coming back to bite us every single time, and no one is getting reprimanded for it.
We're paying the price for bad management, bad decisions that we've done in the past, and it's just, and I don't know how we're going to get out of this now. I really don't, because it's Smalling. What's happening with Smalling now? Is he likely to go, or is he going to stay, or what's happening?
I think the likelihood is he's going to go because, like, Roma actively actually want him, but again, it's
the fee.
Yeah, it's the fee, and like. I've been saying this for so long now. The only reason we are going so in on getting these fees up is because we were shown to be a light hand. As soon as Fergie and David Gill left, we just opened our wallet and said, we can pay anything for anyone. We don't need money for the richest club in the world. So now we're trying to get a bit of that credibility back, which we had, like, we were the richest club in the world, but had a bit more savvy about us, that we were buying players. We were paying a lot, but we weren't paying as much as the club wanted. We weren't being met by their demands, but now it's just like we're just making absolute fools of ourselves. Completely.
See, if you see, we got our pants pulled down in the market like more than 3-4 times. So that is something I think Ed Woodward is trying to work on. I that is a problem. Now he's trying to overcompensate on that. We had to place 75 million for I think Di Maria, and what did we get in return? 74. And what did we get in return?
It was 64. It was 64.9 million, and we got like 53, I think, or
53. So that is a huge loss. If you look at that, that is a huge loss. We paid a huge money. Lukaku, I think, will still be sensible because we had suffered a loss of 1 million. So
15.
we bought him for 15. Are you sure? Because I think we bought him for 75 and sold him for 74.
No, we bought him for like 90 million.
90, and that like okay. So like the European and the British, transaction thing. Yeah. And then we and again for Sanchez, even that was not a good deal. And again, Falcao, like Memphis Depay. Like if you look at the players that we have bought through for so many time and for such a long time since the retirement of Sir Alex, and we were not very smart with our business. Now I think Woodward is trying to overcompensate that with the Sancho deal. He would be like, no, with Telles, with anybody who wants to come to United, if the club is asking for 15 million, basically I'd give them 1.5 million. That would be the starting price for me.
Yeah.
So that is how I think Woodward is trying to overcompensate, but that is getting me worried a bit because I don't know how many players we can sign in this market with this kind of an approach.
So just I was just going to comment on what Matthew said there, that we need to eradicate the Manchester United premium. The only way that you're going to be able to do that is that you're going to have to start being a bit more savvy in the market and signing different types of players. So not going for your Jadon Sanchos, for example. And because look, Borussia Dortmund have been clear from day one. They want, was it 120 million euros, which is 108 million pounds. So are you going to pay that money? No. If you don't want to, then you walk away, and then you start working on other deals like the SAR, for example. A little bit more, it's going to be a lot less. Then you start doing that type of business. But that's the only way that we're going to be able to get rid of that premium. And we also need to start building on the pitch as well, because at the moment everybody knows that we're desperate. So when somebody is desperate, you can charge whatever you want, and it's going to take a long time for us to get rid of that premium. Going to take a long time.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. And to move on to everyone's favorite subject, Jadon and Sancho. I still stand by like exactly what you said there, Sams. Dortmund haven't wavered at all. United are still going back in, which means United will just eventually have to pay the 120 million, and that's just it. And I think we will get him. I think that it'll go down maybe to the wire, but it'll just happen. Yeah.
I used to remember when I was here before, Joe, and I was telling you that throughout the whole process from the beginning, I said that we're going to get Jadon Sancho, and I've not wavered. Now I'm starting to waver a bit. I'm getting a little bit. Yeah, I am. And I'll tell you why. It's because why do Dortmund need to sell him is now what I'm thinking. He's playing. I would have liked to have seen him on the bench or something like that, but he's playing, and
my thing back to that would be I think Sancho wants to go, like actively wants to go, and I think that's why they have set the fee. They said 120 million. If you pay that, then he will go. And say Sancho is gone, that's fine. I will if they don't pay up that much, then I won't leave, and I'll play out that way. So I think that he wants to go, and that's the reason. It's not even up to Dortmund anymore. It is up to Dortmund, of course, but I think like once that 120 million is matched,
when it comes in,
it'll come. He will come.
I hope you're right, man.
Oh God.
But regardless, whether this does go over the line or not, it is an absolute joke. We are a laughing stock, because why has it taken so long to get the deal done when we've been? Forget about the transfer window. We've been monitoring a link to him before the transfer window, so that should have been able to just be done just like that. It's just.
I thought as soon as we got Champions League football, I thought within a week he'd be our player. Genuinely, I thought, or maybe after the Europa League campaign, I thought he's ours. Arfan, what's your thoughts?
Well, on Jadon Sancho, I think it's been more than 70, 75 days since I've started talking about Jadon Sancho. Like, if you head over to my YouTube channel, every journalist I've had, every journalist starting from, and anybody that we have hosted, we have asked him at least once about whether Jadon Sancho is going to happen or not. So if you look at the timeline, the chronological like podcast, you will look at the podcast chronologically. You would see in the beginning we were having I think Jonas Giver. He started with Sancho is going to happen anyway. Man United are monitoring him, and it's going to happen. So if you and slowly you go down to Andy Mitten, and by the time we reach Andy Mitten was like, so it's right now it's still a 50-50%, like the chances are 50-50. So right now I'm at a loss. I'm like, okay, it started just as you said, Joe, that we thought that I thought that right after we secure the Champions League spot, Sancho would be our player within like 5 to 10 days now. Anytime. I even got a graphic made for that. I even got a graphic design made for that, so that whenever Sancho comes in, I'm gonna post that. I paid for that. But since then, I think I've jinxed it. I think I've jinxed it.
Your fault, man.
I'm the one. I'm sorry. I'm the one who jinxed it. And since then, it's been like Sancho the player wants to come to Manchester United. The player wants to come back to Manchester. He is English. He wants to come back to England. He wants to play Champions League football. He wants to play with the football. He wants to wear his shoes. He wants to wear his socks. Everything is there. We have agreed to the personal terms. We have agreed to his mom and dad. We have agreed to his girlfriend. We have agreed to everybody in the world. Just not Borussia Dortmund. Apart from Borussia Dortmund, the entire world we have agreed with. We have agreed with paying with his fee, his ice cream seller's fee, his maybe his car rentals, everything, but just not the money that the club is. And by now, it's pretty clear that Dortmund are not gonna budge, no matter what. So, like, even if they go on to say, like, we want 120 million euro, and it is pretty normal. It is pretty in this inflated market. I think Sancho 120 is a bit too much, I think, but I think somewhere around 90 to 100 would still be outrageous at the current situation. But I do not think Dortmund are gonna accept anything less than what they are holding up for. Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, if we need to get this deal done, it will be done. But Woodward would have to pay the money. Otherwise, nothing is gonna happen. I don't think we're gonna get him for anything less than that.
I think you're absolutely dead right. I do think it'll happen. I think it'll be too much money, and I think I'll be crying for the rest of my life.
Joe, can I ask you a question before you shoot off? Shoot on to the next topic. Yeah. Do you think that because we've seen this whole saga now, do you think that if the deal does get done, that there's going to be added pressure to Jadon Sancho because of the fan base and how we're sort of hanging all our hats on him now?
Yeah. I think we were hanging our hats on him no matter what. I think like has incredible temperament for his age. I think he's been seen as the next bright shining light in English football for the past 3 years, and he's still performing week in, week out in Germany. I think it'll be, no matter what, I think it's at 100%. Whether he came 6 months ago, today, or in the next window, I think it's still, the pressure is at 100% no matter what. And we saw Bruno was able to take it on his shoulders. I think it'll be a bit different, but the same amount of pressure on Sancho. So I think he's well up for it, and I think if he wasn't, then he wouldn't be looking for a move to come back. So I think he's good. I think so.
I agree.
Yeah, Benji showing me some love. Just me, guys. Sorry. So thanks, Benji. Find him on Beak's Corner. Some guy, and we got a message from Patrick Pa Ward. I don't know much about this, but I'll see what you guys' thoughts are. Strong rumours that Man United are tipped to replace Ed Woodward with former Chelsea chief Michael Imminenent. What are your opinions on that? Is anyone... I think I recognize the name from a couple of years ago when he worked with them during the
mid-2000s.
And look, I don't care. If anyone could replace... Charles Manson could replace Ed Woodward, and I'd be happy. So I don't know. Do you guys know anything about that?
I haven't heard anything about that, but I just think that the structure needs to change. Getting rid of Ed Woodward isn't necessarily the thing that we need to do. We just need to change his role within our football club. He's very good at doing the stuff that he's very good at doing, we need to get somebody in that can handle transfers and negotiations. And just touching on, stuff that has come out from what Patrice Evra was saying, it doesn't necessarily seem like it's all him anyway. It's the other people that are employed to do the negotiations. So I just think the structure of the football club itself needs to change. And
because we're hearing a lot about Judge for the first time really ever.
And
that for me is very interesting, because usually when someone from the background is put to the forefront, it means that their days are numbered, and it's kind of a strategic plan to get rid of them. So maybe we could be seeing, finally a bit of structural change, but it won't be Woodward. It would be Judge. Maybe that could be it. What do you think, Arpan?
So if I think I heard about this rumor of this director of football, Man United looking for one, and Emenalo, I think he was with Chelsea, if I'm not wrong. So I was watching one of these news channels, and Ian Wright was the one who actually said that Man United. So I think there was this mic coming on. So I think Ian Wright was the one who actually suggested that Man United should get rid of Ed Woodward and replace him with Emenalo. But I don't think how that will affect, because at the end of the day, Woodward is just the spokesperson of the Glazers. He just has to do what the bosses want him to do. It's not that it's his money. It's not that he's gonna spend it from his pocket. And I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference no matter what we do. Maybe a change in the approach, maybe a change in how we get the business done. Apart from that, director of football, and this role has never been that famous. Right now, I'm hearing a couple of people speak about it, but other than that, I do not know how this will affect the entire system at Man United. I've never seen this affected so much.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to our last topic now, and Ben's after reminding me, please, guys, like and subscribe to this page and to the channel on YouTube, and follow on Twitter and all those sort of things, and Facebook as well. I forgot about Facebook. For the final part, we're going to go into, and please sound off in your comments on this, one player to go, one player to come in. Who would you want? Sems, we'll start with you.
Can we talk about the ones that we've already discussed? Telles and Sancho to come in is...
Yeah, well, I figured that was going to be the one. Yeah. But if you can only get, that's what I mean, like, you can only bring in one player and you can only get rid of one player. So I think we're all going to say Sancho. But who's the one player you want to leave then?
One player I want to leave? Ooh. Phil Jones is who I would want to leave. Phil Jones. I would keep Rojo over Phil Jones every day of the week. So that's who I would want to leave. It's not going to happen, but that's my player out.
Big Phil getting no love. Arpan, I have a feeling you're going to completely and utterly disagree with that.
No. He just stole my thunder. He just stole my thunder. I told you in the beginning of the show that we are going to agree on this a lot, like which player we want to get see the back of. I think Phil Jones. He's. I think by the time he has, like, the amount of time he has spent in the hospital. If I was spending that much of time in the hospital, I would probably get a doctor's degree by now. I think at least a physiotherapist. But I think Phil Jones is the one we should. I'm done with him. He can do nothing. To be very honest, with all due respect to everybody who love him, maybe his parents and nobody else. I think Phil Jones deserves.
Sorry, that was very dark. And he is commented on saying, though, he's quoted saying that he was asked about testimonial, and he said, "I probably won't have one because the only people that will arrive would be my parents."
He agrees. He agrees with me. So Phil Jones, maybe Phil Jones is a goner for me. Next deadwood to be cleared. And one player I would love to have in my team right now. Let me think. The name starts with J, and
Joe O'Neill.
Joe O'Neill. No, maybe something. It's skipping my name. It's skipping my head right now. I think it's called Jadon Sancho.
Oh, what! I had no idea we were gonna go that way.
Oh man, seriously, we guys should look out for him.
Yeah,
we guys should go after him and sign him someday.
Yeah. Pam put in Shaw out, Telles in, like to see someone able to attack from the back more. Yeah, I completely get that, Pam, what you're saying. But like, we need the two of them, unfortunately. We need Shaw, we need Telles, because we have no other left backs at the moment. But if it comes to a day where we can get rid of Shaw, which is hopefully a day not too soon, I know myself and Kartik would be very, very happy about that, and the boys would be, I'm sure, happy about that too.
Yeah, we you know, another player that we need to actually move on as well. I liked him when he came, but he's not going to make it, is he? Is Below? I think we need to try and recoup some money on him as well.
Yeah, someone messing. He's on his way. Like he is gone as well. Like the thing is, a lot of our players, luckily, in a way, like teams actually want them. Well, some of them. But like with Phil Jones, I'm going to get on to Ben and see can I do a full episode just chatting about Phil Jones, the United, because it is fascinating. Because he started off really well. You know, he's medals, an FA Cup medal, you know, all this sort of stuff. And then past maybe 3 years, I think he realized the writing was on the wall. And I remember having an episode with Usman and him saying that I never noticed this, but every transfer window he'd be injured. Now he'd be injured for the rest of the season as well, but during the transfer window he would be. And just the case,
he's super injured.
He's super injured, but like every time, like again, I don't blame him at all. And I think he's more like he is the poster boy of everything's wrong at United, but like he's only taking advantage of our mismanagement of United, like the board's mismanagement of giving him a new contract and being like, well, I'm not going to go, you know, like you get the contract, I'm going to stay. So like, again, it comes down to the board, but like, yeah, Phil Jones, I suppose I'd probably get rid of Rojo first because I just think he's a nuisance. I think Phil Jones is kind of like an Anderson, like people like him. You know, at least.
Rojo is a better player than Phil Jones.
Yeah, I in my opinion too.
No. He's a better player, but I just think he's a bit more of a prick. You know, like Phil Jones, face and stuff like that. That's pretty much my only argument for keeping one over the other. Can stay back, freeze, rash. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway. We're going to finish up there, guys. Jones gets tactically injured. Well,
that's the reason.
Yeah, Reese, that is another quality comment, and that's a perfect one for us to finish on. Do you guys have? I'll put you as one. Hold on 1 second. I'll give you 2 seconds for you can promote yourselves. Hold on, how do you do this again? No. How do you do this? Hold on, give me a second. Okay, Sam. Do you have anything?
It's me. Yeah, catch me on Twitter at LSemps. Also, I've got a podcast at Views TV Official. You can catch us on Twitter and Instagram on that as well.
Amazing. Arpan, your turn.
Okay, so catch me live on like every weekend on Red Army Kolkata. It's on YouTube, it's on Twitter, and follow us on Facebook as well. We are on Instagram. Catch us for all the live content on Manchester United. And if you want to follow me, I'm Arpan at the Red Man United. And yeah, I'm right there.
Brilliant stuff. And for me, I am at Acting Joe. You find it there. No, I always do the wrong side. Acting Joe on Twitter. I'm 4 followers away from 700. I was 5 this morning, but Arpan followed me. Thanks very much, buddy. So give me a follow. Get me to 700 before I die. Get me Joe Your Own Way on Instagram, Joe O'Neill on YouTube. You find all my YouTube comedy shorts, some of them United related, some of them aren't, but yeah, thanks Pat, you're a good man. Notably better than rival content. That's what we want. But yeah, find me on all that stuff. I really appreciate it. Give the boys some love, follow them home if they have to. But yeah, keep around. A lot of great content and all for United this week. Make sure to follow on the channels across the board and just be a sound individual. But thanks for tuning in this morning, and we'll see you later. Let me find the outro. I should have said bye at a proper time. Outro, there we go.